Yo, Drew here from GETtoJAPAN. Today guys, I'm going to teach you a very useful study technique, one that I use myself on occasion, that has helped me become more fluent in my Japanese. What am I talking about? Okay, really with any language there's a large vocabulary that we have to learn, and the normal association for this, the normal method of going about this is see the word and directly translate, learn the English translation. Simple, right? Or whatever language you speak, insert here. Yeah, but there's a problem with that. It gets very tiring very easily, and you're kind of adding an extra step. So this is a technique a little bit more for people who have a very pretty good foundation in grammar, so they know a majority of grammar. But then again, for dictionary definitions, the grammar that's used is not that expensive or exhaustive. It's always pretty much a similar thing. Nani-nani no koto, nani-nani sama. Yeah, so the point is it's all very similar, not that extensive. So as long as you have a pretty, I'd say intermediate grasp on grammar and a decent vocabulary, you're pretty good to start using this technique. Before that level, you might start to get a little overwhelmed. But anyways, here it is. I'm going to show it to you as I go, as I study myself. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Let's see. So what you're going to need for this technique is a pencil or pen, depending on what you prefer writing with. You're going to need a highlighter, because that might be useful too. And last but not least, you're going to need your DS with kanji sonomama nakubiki jiten, which I've blogged about before. This amazing software where it allows you to actually write characters on it. So, you don't actually need this software specifically, although it is desirable to have, because if you're encountering characters you don't know, you're not going to be able to look them up unless you have the reading. So paper dictionaries or online dictionaries won't really work unless there's actually a tablet or a function for which you can write them in. So here we go. Let's do something really easy for now. Okay, so I came across the word the boken, let's say, for example. So I'm going to write it out first so that we can see. I'm going to then thus write the hiragana right next to it. That's up to the individual though, if they want to do that or not. I just do it for ease. Might not be the best method for remembering them or memorizing the kanji itself, but then again, what we're trying to get at here really is understanding the word through more Japanese instead of just doing a direct translation. So I'm going to thus enter it into, I'm going to draw it exactly as I see it into my DS. Boken, okay, it goes in there. I get the result. It's going to be an English result. It's going to say adventure, right? And I'm going to get the English description. There's a little Japanese as well, but this is the English to Japanese dictionary right now. Or sorry, Japanese to English dictionary. It's going to give me some examples. That's what I love about this thing. It's really awesome in that respect, that it gives tons and tons and tons of examples and other joint phrases, every use of it basically. But like we said, that's not very beneficial in terms of learning the language. That's good in terms of learning the word. So what I'm going to do instead is switch the software over to, okay, can't really see, really this. I'm going to switch the software over to instead of Japanese to English, which is what we're currently using, I'm going to switch it over to Kokugo, which is just Japanese. Now I pick it, and I get the Japanese definition fully. So here's what I'm going to do next. Next to it, I'm going to write out the definition fully in Japanese with all the kanji. Whether or not I can write them or not, I'm going to try my best, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's the definition fully. And, you know, I can read it all and understand it, but for the sake, let's say I can't. What I do next here is I highlight the ones that I have trouble understanding or I can't read or that I just don't know. So I bust out my highlighter. And let's say, okay, let's say I don't know this one right here, okay? Highlight. Highlights. Let's say I don't know, okay? So I'll highlight these three. And now what I'm going to do is start mind mapping these three into, so essentially what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look up their definitions only in Japanese. So you see where I'm going with this really? Instead of just looking up those individual words and looking at their translation, which is good because I understand it in English now, I'd rather try and get the sense of the word and the feel for the word in the Japanese language, because also it gives me the ability to describe that word if ever asked, or understand it if I ever ask, and it also allows me to, in turn, learn more Japanese. So, I have my next word over here, and that's this one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna just draw a, let's say I'll circle it, and I'll draw an arrow down here, okay? Now I'm going to type it into my trusty DS with kanji sono mama. And again, what I love about this software is it's so easy to look up characters, and even if you do the stroke order wrong, as I've explained before, you get to choose from a multitude of characters that are very similar, and, you know, just in case you mess up the stroke order or whatnot. Okay, so I have my new word now. All plugged in. Gonna punch it. There we go. Kikem. Okay, so there's the definition now. Okay, so now I'm going to write out this definition. And again, I'm going to look up this one next. Let's just skip that one around. Look up this one next, and I'm going to write out that definition. So I plug it in. And I find the definition. And then I will write that definition here. Really, you just keep doing this, you keep doing that. Here's the finished product. And obviously again, repeat the process by highlighting things you don't know. So let's say I don't know that, I don't know that, I don't know that. I do really, but let's say I don't. Blah, 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 right? Right there, okay? Like, you keep doing that, and then you keep on branching until you get kind of, it's gonna get really messy, but it turns out okay, actually. It's not that messy, and the more you go, the more you're gonna know, so it works out. And the finished product's gonna look somewhat like that. I don't really highlight, so yeah. That's how it's going to go. Okay, so there you have it, folks. That's the advanced study technique for learning Japanese for intermediate and above learners, brought to you by Drew from GETtoJAPAN. Again, what you're going to need is a beautiful DS with the software that is known as Sonomama, Kanji Sonomama Adakubi Kijisen, which I blog about right here, so go check that one out as well. For more great tips, other useful information and knowledge, head on over to GETtoJAPAN.com, which I'll put up right here. Otherwise, yeah, I like my background.